All right, everyone. We have Amy Costello here on the Community Conversation, aka our prototype of the month. I am so pumped to have Amy on. Amy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited.
You're so welcome. It is Friday, which means it's Virtuosity Friday, which I'll ask you that at the end of the day. But Amy, why don't you just share with everyone kind of like kind of your journey in fitness? Like, how did you find Prototype? Like,
Yep.
what's that experience been like? Just kind of walk us through from the start to the beginning.
Sure. Sure. So I would say fitness has always been within my lifestyle. So I was, I'll be the first to admit, I was never an athletic kid. Like, do not throw a ball at me, I'll duck. But what I could do was I could get in the gym and it was like I was in heaven. So, from the minute I was, old enough to really go join a gym, I think I was 16, I had my license, I did so. And I started out at like Bally's, remember Bally's at like
Mhm.
Lincoln Plaza?
Mhm.
And I just loved it. It was always cardio because that's what was in at the time, or taking step class. But I just knew, being in high school, like this helped me so much. I was a very fortunate child where I didn't really run into a lot of challenges in life. So I don't want to say like at the time, it helped my mental health or this or the other thing, but you know what? It just made me feel good.
Mm.
So, that's a different story now. I notice as I get older, it's probably more important for my mental health than it is even for my physical health. But so that was it. I joined the gym and I've been, consistent with sticking with it through my entire life, like through my pregnancies, through everything. And then I would say, let's see, I was found Prototype the first time about 3 years ago. And that was because I drove by every day when I was going to work. And I knew I needed something a little different. I was getting a little sick of, going and hopping on the treadmill or forcing myself to do weights that I really didn't like to do. Um, it was boring, but I just sort of kept up with it. And I think I might have either stopped in or I might have emailed. And I believe I talked to Steve and I went in, I did a tour, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is so unlike anything I have ever done. I'm super nervous, but I'm going to do it. And that's what I did. And John did my initial classes, which was great. What are those called, Mike? I can't remember.
Our virtuosity
The
sessions, yeah.
virtuosity, yeah, the virtuosity sessions. I felt like an idiot because I had never like lifted weights like that before, and I felt out of breath. I felt like, even though I had exercised my whole life, I had felt that it was just like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. But I stuck with it. And it didn't take long to really just feel like you fit in. And you realized very quickly that everybody was rooting for you. So you go into those first few classes and you just, have kind of no idea what you're doing. And there was always somebody there to help you, whether it was a coach or a member. And it was just such a good feeling, such a good feeling. So I think I stuck with that for, I want to say, about 6 months. And then you may remember I got my puppy, Brody,
Hmm.
and I had to take some time off because between having the new dog at home and then work and kids and family, I said, all right, you know what, maybe I need to pause. Um, but I quickly came back. I think I want to say within 6 months after that, I was back in the gym because I realized that it wasn't, there was no reason that I couldn't still be in there. And then I was hooked. Then it was buying the CrossFit shoes and, really like buying in and drinking the Kool-Aid type of thing. Um, and and that's it. I mean, that's my story. it's been awesome.
I remember you were like an afternoon, evening person predominantly, which I still think you come into the evening a bit. I know
Yep.
Mike comes in around that time too, your
Yep.
husband, and but now you're like more so like early morning, like 5 a.m. Did you
Yeah.
make that transition to kind of navigate and make life a little bit easier, or how did what happened there?
Yeah. So believe it or not, I've always, well, you do believe it because everybody who knows me will know I am actually a morning person.
Mm,
So even as I was growing up, I would work out in the morning when
mm,
I could. Um, so that wasn't unusual for me. But when I did start, I think I was taking the 4:30 class because I would hit the gym on the way home from
got it.
work. Yep. And then I decided to move to the mornings. And with COVID, that made sense because I've been working at home ever since. Um, yeah, yeah. But morning is definitely my time.
And you mentioned like kind of like what you stopped for a little bit. There's some disruption, then you kind of got back into it. You're hooked. You said bought the CrossFit shoes, drank the Kool-Aid. I feel like that's like a normal thing. Like buying the shoes is kind of like, when you like, is that when you knew you're kind of like what was the moment when you're like, this is like the thing that I'm doing, like I'm all in?
Because when I just knew how much I missed it.
Mm.
I just missed it. I said there's nothing like this. Like my fitness level and the way my mind felt, there was nothing like it.
And when
And
you say, yeah,
I was going to say we all get that because
yeah.
anybody listening to this understands that. But for somebody on the outside, like they probably think we're a cult. Like
It's not the first time that people have referred to CrossFit or Prototype as a cult, but you can leave. Like you left for like 6 months, but
oh yeah, I
you made a decision
left.
to come back. We weren't like
Yeah,
going to your house and
yeah,
pulling you back in.
yeah,
Um, but it was close though. I remember sending you a couple emails. But
yeah. You did.
yes, but no, it's funny. Like, do you feel like is it the workouts, like how you feel? Is it like community? Like, is it like a combination of those things? What do you think is like the
Mhm.
kind of the most important, or in your mind, like what was that thing that kind of kept you like kind of
It
reeled in?
all of the above. Definitely the workouts, but it no doubt it was the people.
Mm,
Um, I I would go to the gym previous to Prototype. I would put my headphones in, didn't want to talk to anybody,
mm,
didn't want, it's like didn't look at anybody. I just didn't even want to make a connection with anybody. Um, Whereas here it's like social hour and it's fun and I have made some amazing friends and I just love the support. I love the community, the environment. Um, I mean, my gosh, we laugh like that 5 a.m. class, we laugh so much. So it's like a party.
and you wouldn't think that parties start at 5 a.m., but they clearly do
No,
if you're
they
if
do.
you're at
They
CrossFit.
do.
And I find it so hard to believe that you were like a headphones in, head down like person at
Oh
like
yeah.
the gym because you're so personable and like bubbly. And
Right.
so
Right.
that
Yeah. Oh
I did not
yeah.
expect that. I thought it was not. I didn't think you were going to say that, which is interesting to me. But that's like what most people kind of their experience, right? When like working out like on their own or going
Yeah.
to like a gym. You said
Yep.
Bally's, but like could have been like Planet Fitness or like Boston Sports Club or any of
Yep.
like the bigger gyms. It's kind of you kind of in there and you're in your own kind of world, which is
Yeah.
like it's a lot different than
It's a lot different.
coming in and
Lot
doing
different.
classes and stuff like that.
Yep.
When you started kind of getting into a groove, like there's like a tons of stuff that we do, right? From like the weightlifting stuff
Yep.
to the body weight stuff to the like gymnastics and the cardio. Like, what's your favorite thing? Like, what drives you? What are the things you're kind of working on? What are your goals? Like that sort of stuff.
So my favorite things are the things that I consider myself good at. So I love squats. I really enjoy like front squats, back squats, anything where where I'm more using my base as for my strength. I feel I love those days,
Mm,
um gymnastics is definitely a challenge for me, so getting better hanging from the bar, getting toes to bar, making some progress there. but like, I am still afraid to go upside down. Like I cannot kick up to the wall. You know what I mean? It's totally mental. Jack will be the first one to say I let my mind get in the way, and I know I do. I do that with everything.
Now, so that's interesting you said that. Box jumps.
Yeah.
Is that another mental thing?
Yeah, but I think I'm over it.
You're over it. So the reason I asked that question, I was at this training last night, and there's this woman who said she couldn't like jump onto like this height of this box. We literally brought out boxes and like we did some stuff and we helped her, and she was like half an inch. As soon as we showed her the height difference, because like we stacked up plates and she didn't really know the height, but she was able to do it because it's mental, not physical.
Oh yeah.
She knew, she was like completely like not, she couldn't do it anymore. Right. It was really interesting, but you're so right. It's so mental, the fear component. How did you get over that fear of like jumping onto the box?
So I bought a soft box, and that helped. Leah helped me tremendously get over my fear. So, and she did just that. She brought out the box. We would put on weights. She would videotape me. And when I was jumping, she would say, she's like, Amy, she's like, you've got inches above, the height of this box. But as I'm looking down, I felt like I was going to trip right over it, and no matter how much she tried to tell me, but believe it or not, it just came down to that soft box. I just did it one day. I just did it one day, and I just kept doing it. And I have gone back and forth. If I'm in a class where my legs are super tired in a workout, I get nervous. But I just have to stop thinking about it and just do it.
It's so interesting. Like once you did it, it was like the chain was broken and you were just free. You're able to keep doing it. You said you're like selective, right? So there's days that you make the decision not to do that because you don't want to, hurt yourself or whatever, but you have the confidence to be able to do it. I'm curious, helping you get over the handstand fear. I feel like that will be something that we're going to tackle. And I have some ideas. I appreciate you sharing the things that scare you. What other things? Are there any other things that kind of scare you in the gym that like kind of like give you anxiety about?
I will always get anxious on anything that's timed. And it's not a terrible anxiety, but it definitely makes me a little nervous. Nobody ever makes me feel like who cares if I'm the last one done? Nobody cares. So why should I care? But that one definitely gets my heart pumping a little bit before we start. And but no, it's going up, it's upside down. That's my thing. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so fascinated about like the fear stuff. You don't avoid stuff though. Like you try it, right?
No, I try it.
Yeah, which is good. Like that's good.
Yeah.
And like the reason I asked is like the timed workouts. It's not like you're like skipping those workouts. Like you're coming in, you're doing it, but still kind of like gives you that fear, which I think is awesome, right? And the more you do that, the better you feel. And same thing, you kind of showed that with that. Anyway, I'm just like, I think that's really cool, and I don't think we talk about that stuff enough, because it's like it's probably reflective in other things outside of like the workout, right? And I actually had no idea that this conversation was going to go this way. I'm just curious, like. And again, we're on the community conversation. This is being recorded. I'm curious, like, if there's anything other like kind of overcoming some of the fears, maybe the box jumps, maybe doing some stuff in the gym. Like, have you seen like an impact outside of the gym? Or anything you can like think about?
I'm I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But when I do these things, it sets me up for my day. So whether it's overcoming something which really puts me in a really, really good mood. Like I'm pumped. I'll talk about it, to anybody who will listen. But, for the most part, like on my daily schedule, I'm a very resilient person. And so I don't feel like it's really made a huge impact other than the fact that it just makes me feel really good. I definitely have, my mind will get in the way of so many things. And there was one day at the gym when we were doing double unders and I couldn't do them. And you looked right at me and you were like, well, just do one. And I was like, well, I can't. And he's like, well, just do it. And I did it. And I was like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Why couldn't I do this before?
Well, you're very coachable, Amy, which is important. Which is a very important thing. We all kind of get in our heads. It's so funny this conversation kind of went this direction. I'm just fascinated talking about it. But like, you just brought up so many good points, and I think this is like really cool because I think like anyone listening to this that's like a member or like is like familiar with like doing the stuff that we do in here, like there's stuff that like scares us, right? But you're like a perfect example of someone who's like tackles the stuff that kind of scares them, but still is aware of some things that scare you, and then that you have to like overcome some of those things. Yep. And then it is like a mental component, but like when you break that barrier, like just more success and more stuff just continues to happen, and it puts you in this like really good mood and you feel really good about yourself. You said you're pumped and you like just tell everyone about it, which is just really, it's just really cool. I mean, that's the stuff that like, you don't really hear outside of like from a gym, right? Like, people come in here, they want to work on their fitness, feel better, like work out, like, the idea of like community and friends from anyone that's not familiar with CrossFit is like, like you said, I put my headphones in and I go and work out. But like this other like stuff within the movements and the things that we do, and like how that like makes you feel, and like the challenges and like setting goals and like being able to conquer stuff. And it's just really cool. And I appreciate you kind of sharing that. Again, didn't know this is the direction this is going to go in. So this is awesome. So another question that I have, kind of to change pace a little bit, because you've been coming to the gym for a few years now. Anything that kind of sticks out in your mind, like favorite events or favorite moments that you've had, like while being like at Prototype? It could be anything from like, an external event to an internal event to like a particular moment you remember, like, workout or friends or whatever, like anything that kind of comes to mind for you.
Well, any of the hero workouts they just mean so much to me. Like it's a totally different feeling. So the 24 workouts and the 24 hours, I couldn't go to that many. I only went to a couple, but it was just a very special feeling to be able to be part of that. And Veterans Day, I practically started crying, as you guys introduced, what we were doing this for. So it's very it's so meaningful to have that in addition to a workout. If that makes any sense, you know. I loved working out outside during COVID.
Yeah.
Some of those cold mornings last year, I believe we were out until November.
About this time, yeah.
About this time. And I can remember showing up one morning and John looks at me, he's like, where are your skis? I was so bundled up, but we would be stretching and lying on our backs and looking up at the stars because it was dark. Yes. And it was just special. And the fact that I have never seen a group of people that were able to take a global pandemic, right? A global pandemic, something totally that has just never happened in our lifetime, and make such a successful business. I don't want to say business out of it, but just turn everything to be so successful during that time. So many companies, so many small employers closed. How sad is that? And you just turned, you said, all right, this isn't going to work. So what can we do? And you made it work. And there's just such an appreciation for that. So those were some of my favorite times, for those outdoor workouts. That was awesome.
I appreciate that. And I agree with you. I think that it was really cool working out outside. I mean, it was a lot of work getting it all set up and all that stuff. And I remember 5 a.m. It got freaking cold. I think I think there was one day it was like below 30 and I was just like, people are wearing gloves to hold onto the barbells. I'm like, I don't know if this is we can't really do this too much longer. We'll be on like ice skates in a
no kidding.
Which is not which can get a little dangerous if you're trying to throw some weights over your head. But yeah, that's cool. You bring that up. That's it. It's funny because it literally was like about a year ago. So it's a good reminder for how like the difference between this year and even to last year, even though we're kind of not over this stuff yet, but like there is a difference in terms of where things were at, which is really cool to kind of reflect on. And speaking of reflection, since it's Friday, it's like Virtuosity Friday. So something we've been doing lately, kind of internally with the team, we've shared them in our members group, and some folks have shared. So you might be the first person that will like verbally share Virtuosity, but the Virtuosity like stands for doing the common uncommonly well, and it's kind of like our gratitude. So the idea is to, and it could be anyone in your life, right? So it could be like, family member, like coworker, friend, anyone, but someone that like helped you during the week or like helped you grow, helped you succeed, or something you just have kind of gratitude for. But that's what the Virtuosity is. So kind of like you can give like a Virtuosity, almost think of it like a token to someone. So with that being said, who would your Virtuosity be or go out to for this week?
This is so hard because I immediately want to go to like my family because they're always there and awesome. And I did have a coworker that was like just amazing this week, but you know who it is? It's Emily. Emily Overly. She has become like one of like just such an amazing friend. And just she's always there. She's always there to listen. She's always there to laugh with. And I just I feel so fortunate to have met her through this time. It's not often as an adult you meet people that can become a good friend. I think that's very difficult, unless it's through your kids and things like that. But like, it was really kind of neat to get to know her. And I like, there's so many people, like I say, that whole 5 a.m. class is just awesome. And I feel so strongly about all of them, but yeah, I'm going to throw it out to Emily.
That's great. Oh, that's great. I'm sure she'll listen to this and she's going to really appreciate that. So that's cool. So I love that you shared that. And I'm going to make sure you share that in the members group too, but I'll remind you after we get off this. We're gonna go spitfire round now though, Amy.
All right, I'm ready.
Final three. I hope you've prepared because I haven't changed the questions.
I did.
I should change the questions then.
Don't.
I'll change the. I'll keep going. So question 1: favorite movie, favorite TV show of all time. So those are 2.
Yeah.
That's part A. Part B, and part C is what are you currently binge watching right now? If you're binge watching anything.
All right. So favorite movie, and you're gonna laugh because I like very lighthearted things. So favorite movie is hands down The Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy.
Yes. Okay.
I cannot, if I'm flipping through the channels and that movie is on, I cannot shut it off.
You're watching it.
Crying, laughing. It makes me laugh. Favorite TV show will always be Friends.
You can't go wrong with Friends.
You can't go wrong. And then binge watching, it's kind of funny because I feel like I'm a day late and $1 short, like anything to do with Netflix. People are like, oh, you should watch Breaking Bad. And I'm like, oh, great. Is it new? And, and it's like, well, no. And it's like 20 seasons. And I'm like, well, no, I can't watch. I can't do that. I'm always too late. But embarrassingly enough, through COVID, I binge watched Grey's Anatomy.
For the
first time.
That's cool.
All 17 seasons.
That's a commitment right there.
That was a commitment. But I have to say, I love Ozark, and I just
That's a
learned
great
that's
show.
coming back on in January. So I
Yes,
wanted to share.
that's an
January.
awesome show. That's an awesome show. We Erin and I think we binge watched Friends during the pandemic, because that wasn't a show that she watched. She's seen it. I've seen like a couple episodes, but I wasn't like, never really watched like Friends. But that was a show that we binge watched as well. And I thought that was awesome. So I can appreciate the Friends, because that's a great show.
Yes.
Second question is two parts: is favorite band or musician, music artist of all time. And then that's part A. Part B is your favorite song of all time. Does not need to be from your favorite musician.
Oh, I didn't prepare for that one. So favorite artist of all time is Elton John. Now, anybody who works out with me will be like, you're a liar, because every song that comes on in the gym, I'm like, this is literally my favorite song. Like, that's, it's
literally my favorite song.
Literally my favorite song. But no, Elton John, I always go back to him. Love, we'll just play it in the background all the time. And oh gosh, favorite song. Mike, I was not prepared for this one.
First one that comes to mind.
No.
How about your favorite Elton John song?
No, that wouldn't be it though. I got nothing.
You got nothing? Oh, we'll revisit. We'll try to come back to it, because the last question is what's like your favorite, kind of like your favorite activity to do, like outside of the gym. Could be with family, could be by yourself, kind of like your frivolous activity, your fun thing you like to do.
Yep. Definitely going to the beach.
Cool.
Love the beach. Yep. I love
how
the water.
How about in the winter? What do you do? You
don't
go to the beach you go to the beach in the winter?
No.
Is there anything in the wintertime or cold time?
No, I would like to say I ski, but I'm a terrible skier. And the older I get, the more I'm ready to give it up.
Yeah.
I just, I'll be honest, I love winter. I love snow. I love to be outside. So it could be walking the dog. It could be, those are just great activities. And my other passion is reading. I'm actually much bigger reader than I am a TV watcher.
Are you part of the Prototype book club? That's like the 5,000 books that's under the table at the in front of the couch.
No.
Have you taken any? Have you taken? Well, there's 100 books over there, so there's plenty of good ones.
I had no idea.
It's a secret book club that a lot of the 5 a.m. ladies seem to just donate books to for each other to secretly take. So whatever is there is yours. So whatever. Take a look next time you're in.
I will take a look. I will take a look. Yeah.
Well,
I'm still going. Yeah.
No, keep going. Sorry.
Go ahead. I was gonna say I'm still going back to my favorite song. I can't even think of one.
I was just gonna say favorite song. Well, we'll figure that out. That'll be a question of the day, maybe this coming week. So you'll have some more time to prepare. But so I'll let you off the hook on that one. But
thanks.
Thanks. But Amy, this was great. I really appreciate you being on the community conversation this week. And for everyone that's out there listening right now, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, every week we have a new community conversation, whether it's with our members here at Prototype or a community conversation with the nutrition crew with John and Sam, or my leadership series. There's tons of content that we're putting out. So I appreciate you all listening. And again, Amy, I appreciate you being on today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Take care.